Next up, we have A sharp minor by Rukkus / Nightkiller, featured in Geometry Dash is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you're gonna use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, the gaming channel. How to request songs if you're not in the live stream. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitarded, so please keep that in mind. With that, let's do this. A sharp minor, let's go. Okay, so we start with a solo piano, giving us two different parts. Number one is going to be what we call the right hand of the piano, which is going to be the melody, which contains some trills. I'm going to get into that in a second, but it contains our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. And then in the left hand, we have the bass line going on over there. This one is engaging in what would be called species counterpoint. Species counterpoint is it's a ratio for things, right? So counterpoint being the study of melodies, how they are, how they develop, how they interact with one another, usually in the context of having two or more at the same time. This is a two-part counterpoint, and we are having species. Species means that there's a certain numbers of note per note. So for example, species 1 is one note per one note, in which you have both parts, and for this, since this is a Bach concept, we're going to bring the harpsichord for this. Ender Cup, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the mosh pit. Welcome today. How you doing? So yes, species counterpoint would be that for every note part 1 plays, part 2 plays a note as well, right? That kind of thing. Species 2 would be for every note one part does, the other one plays another one. So let's the other one plays 2. So this one I use the D minor invention. So we're having them going, for every 2 notes played in the right hand, you had 1 note played in the left hand. Species 3, and it just keeps happening proportionately, right? So we're having that one happening, and then we have the concept of the trill. The trill being one of the most fascinating things to exist in Western music. Swag, welcome today, how you doing? Trill is when you play 2 notes in quick succession from one another. So let's say, for example, we have these 2 notes over here. D and E. The 2 notes together, if you were to play them together, would sound dissonant. But if you play them in a trill, which then gives you a very interesting phenomenon in music, which allows you to claim that you're playing one of the notes, 2 of the notes, or neither of the notes at the same time. So we're having that going on, and this actually affects, you can play pretty much any chords with these. And it doesn't matter what chords you play with these in your scale, the trill still sounds like it can belong. So having those notes played like that gives us this whole effect. And of course, the melody over here includes some trills. Charlie, welcome today. How you doing? So yeah, with that, let me go back a couple of seconds because I did hear the drum. Yeah, we got this much out of just the first 6 seconds. Let's see where this goes. Cadence. Okay, so now we change, of course, we get the first hit of the drums, and now we switch from a piano to a synth, giving us some arpeggios. So an arpeggio is when you play a chord 1 note at a time. So here's, for example, C minor. Here it is arpeggiated. You can do it upwards, you can do it downwards, as long as you're playing the chord 1 note at a time. Now, this one over here, the track is called A sharp minor. Sharp minor is something that you can apply to many different scales. Ill, of course, is not a scale or a note that exists. So there's a bit of a pun there, right? But most importantly, we're going through the chords that we were playing at the beginning, just now played in an arpeggiation like this. So with that, let's see where this goes. Slowly increasing the clarity. Speeding up now. New synth. Okay, the new synth playing what I think could be a variation of the motif. I think. C minor arpeggio. Is it a C minor? It could be in C minor. Yeah, I don't know why it would be called ill sharp minor, but you would have to ask Rukkus, okay? So, we're having this very lovely early 2000s synth sounding that have it. What is the pun? I don't know. I have no clue. So yeah, we're having this the chords playing in this this beat. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, Megumi discovered fireworks. Okay, so out of context, that just sounds okay. So we're having this one going, and why are they blowing? Because Megumi discovered fireworks. That's what's happening. Yeah. All right, let's see where this goes. So we introduce the drums, and it seems it's a variation building up. That was cool. That was cool. So we have the build-up with the synth giving us what I think was a variation of the original melodic motif being elongated a little bit. So elongation being another way that you can develop your material in which you slow something down. In this case, we were playing a slower version of the melody that was being played, right? So the original melody was something like this, like the motif itself had a similar shape to this. So what did we do with the elongated version of the motif? We grabbed all of this and we deleted it, and we decided to make these a lot longer each of them, and then we decided to change the rhythm in each individual iteration so that we would get this kind of effect over here. And now we have an entirely new version of the motif that works kind of as just chords as well. Then we engaged in some rhythmic displacement. Rhythmic displacement, as the name suggests, is when you displace something in the rhythm, whether it is to push something down so that it sounds later, or rush something up so that it sounds earlier. What did we do this for? To delay the dropping of the beat. We get the dropping of the beat, and then is there a command? Yes, there is, Swag. There's one in the description on YouTube, or you can type !S commands. So yeah, let's see. What are chords? Chords are, technically speaking, stacking notes. So in the most strict sense of the word, is what we call stacking thirds. Usually stacking thirds, right? A third is one of the intervals that exist in music. An interval is the distance between notes. So if we take a scale, let's say the scale of C major, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. We have 7 notes. 1 through 7, C through D, C through A, C through B, and that took way too much. And then the distance between the notes is going to be the number, right? So C is number 1, D is number 2, D is a second away from C. E is number 3, E is a third away from C. Then, inversely, or proportionately as well, D is a second away from E. So on and so forth until you repeat the octave. And the octave means you're just restarting the scale, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So the way chords usually work is when you stack thirds. So we have C, we stack a third, so we have C. Then we stack a third on top of that. That would be E. A third on top of that would be E, the first one, second G, second F, third G. And then we play those 3 together, and we get what is called a triad. That is a chord. You're just stacking the notes on top of each other. There are 3 main types of chords. There are dyads, there are triads, and then there's extended chords. And Yeah, I saw that. So a dyad is when you have only 1/3 stacked, so C and E, for example. A triad, C, E, and G. And then extended chords is when you keep stacking thirds on top of that. So a third above G is B. And let's say we have the chord down here. A third above G is B. So you get this one. A third above B is D. So you get this one. A third above D is F. A third above F is A. And now we have all 7 notes of the scale being played in a massive extended chord, and then you can even start like altering some of these to engage in more jazzy stuff. But yeah, basically those are chords, and then you engage in harmony, and harmony is the study of how these chords behave, the changes, and all that kind of stuff, right? So let's go a little bit back, and let's actually listen to the thing. And yes, we will have mod applications open soon, because we did lose some mods recently, and the community is growing really fast. So I am gonna need more mods, but that's probably next week. Anyway, let's see where this goes. And we bring on first. Okay, we bring our first dropping of the beat, and we have it 2 parts. One of them is the traditional dubstep, what I call a whoop whoop bass. Why do I call it a whoop whoop bass? Because when you have what's it called? EDM, not EDM, dubstep, and you drop the beat, the bass goes whoop whoop, and that's why I call it that. So we're having this one, and then in between we are getting variations of the motif in what I think I was told it's called a screeching bass. So yeah, we're having that kind of as a call and response, and good in between, good stuff. Let's see where it goes. Dubstep is EDM, yeah, but I want to be specific. Back to the piano. I like that we're using the piano as a way of indicating the change of sections. We repeat. Sargonisa, welcome today. How you doing? And another thing we are doing with this is octave displacement. With this, we are engaging in some octave displacement, primarily in the frequencies. So it sounds more like frequency, but it is octave displacement. So what is octave displacement? As the name suggests, is when you displace which octave something happens in. As we just said in the scale, right? Let's bring the scale of C major again. The octave is just the repetition of the same note. F, G, A, B, and then C. Is the repetition of the same note, and then you can have as many octaves up or down as your instrument has range. So, octave displacement is when you play the same thing, the same notes in the same order, but not in the same octave. So let's say we have C to D to E, and that is probably the simplest possible melody, right? We have this going on. Octave displacement would be we are going to play C to D to E in that order, but not necessarily the same way we just did. So we can do something crazy like C up here to D down here to E down here. So instead of playing, now we are playing. You can do swapping around the different places. So C, D, E, and is just gold is just points for the stream avatars, I believe, yes. So yeah, we're having that happening very fast, of course, and it sounds more like static and frequency, like pure frequency, than it does notes for this, which is another extra set of texture that Rukkus is adding here to this, which just adds more flavor to this, right? So let me go back a few seconds, let's see where this goes. Arpeggios again, from piano to the synth. Similar to what we had before, but now we're having the block chords being played by the piano. Speeding up. And so we bring in another drop immediately after, and we are now doing more variations on the variations we just did. So this is a good way of doing several drops at the same time. We're getting the actual song. Uncle, what? Anyway, so we're having. That's what I get for reading chat. So now we're having variation on top of variation. When you're making music, you want to keep a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much repetition, too much of the same thing, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. There's usually an exception. Universal exception, which is solos. No matter the style, no matter the genre, you bring in a solo, as long as it sounds cool enough and it fits enough, you can get away with almost anything. But even that still has the same thing. Uncle Rukkus. Okay, you were saying Uncle Rukkus. Look, that's him, okay? If it is him, hell yeah, we might need to ask Barry if he is. Okay, I just didn't know if that kind of reference. Okay. So, sorry. So yes, even if you have a solo, it still will have a more tolerable, but it will still apply the rules. Too much repetition, listeners get bored. Too much new material, listeners get overwhelmed. Electronic music has an additional exception, which is dropping the beat. Same rules. However, Rukkus here is now engaging in one type of form. Form is the structure of your music. Structure, which is usually in instrumental music. In instrumental music defined as in sections. James is a man of culture. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. WW, welcome today, how you doing? Victor, welcome today, how you doing? No, I'm not. We were just talking about how I don't watch enough anime. Like, I know of Uncle Rukkus, I just haven't seen the anime. I really want to, though. There's so much I want to watch, but, 14-hour days, what can you do? So, sections are then usually going to be like Section A, Section B, Section A prime, that kind of stuff. However, the type of form that Rukkus is doing over here, it's a very difficult one to achieve. Welcome back, Amayar. It's a very, very difficult one to achieve, which is called theme and variations. Theme and variations is exactly what we're hearing over here. We started with the original theme being given to us in the piano, and then immediately we got the first drop, which was variation number 1. We got the second drop, which is variation number 2. And if we keep going, it's just going to be the same thing over and over, but we're getting variations. Now, why is theme and variations difficult? Because you are leaning in to the same material over and over part, and you're trying to make it different every time, which is a challenge. So, your stream is constantly went lag. That might be from YouTube's end. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, that's why we have the backups, by the way. It might be YouTube wanting you to turn off your ad blocker if you have one. Otherwise, it might just be YouTube being YouTube. Anyway, with that, let's see where this goes, right? Okay, we have one more synth at the top. So now, instead of going from whoop whoop bass to the motif itself, we are now going from whoop whoop bass to motif to one more synth holding up chords. So we now have this three-way change happening. It's happening faster in between, but we're still getting variations. It's still technically the same material. Let's see where this goes. Might be the internet? Okay. Interesting. We bring back the piano, and before this transition, something I'm liking here is that it seems that the way that this is structured is that this is not random. We have a certain amount of phrases that exist in the different instruments and the different parts. The whoop whoop bass has its own phrase that it needs to tell. The motif, of course, has the phrase that it needs to do, and then the chords have the phrase that they need to do. And an interesting part about this is that they are interrupting each other, but they all get to do their thing at the end of each repetition in completion. So it's like you have 3 people speaking, and each of them is saying like 1/4 of their sentence at a time. This is really cool, dude. This is really cool. All right, let me go back a couple of seconds. We bring in the piano arpeggios, which so far have been our indicator of change. So let's see where this goes. New variation of the chords. Nice. We go a little bit flat there. And we bring a drop-like bass for a build-up. For what seems to be a build-up. Let's see where this goes. Really cool. Oh, we speed it up. We actually get an accelerando. Okay, so we engage in what is called an accelerando, which is to gradually speed up or accelerate the entire ensemble. We bring this new variation. It's just a new variation. It's faster, and it speaks for itself. Yeah, let's see where it goes. Sounds similar to the. Oh, there you go. Now we're including the piano. Oh, so now instead of the other synth, we have the piano. Oh, so cool. There we go, from variation number 2. So we're now taking from both variations, and we are using each part of the material that we used before to build up the next part of the material. So at first, the first part we had the piano, and from the piano we took the melody and the bass, and we built variation like drop number 1. Then from drop number 1, we took that, we added one more synth, and we added for variation number 2. Now we're taking from both variations number 1 and number 2 to make variation number 3. This is how you do theme and variations. Oh my god, it just escalates. It just keeps escalating. This is really good. Let's see where it goes. We slow it down. Even though it's faster, we slow down. Okay, so funnily enough, we are now engaging in another elongation, but because we accelerated, relatively speaking, the beat is faster, but the melodies are slower, relatively speaking. So it is an elongation, but because of the accelerando, it balances out. Oh, let's see where this is so good. Let's see where it goes. Oh, this is so cool. How are you gonna end this though? And we end it with the same piano, an elongated version of the piano. It finally gets to do its arpeggios nice and slow, and one last chord, and there you have it. My god, what a trip this was. What a trip. That was really cool. That ending, that third variation was incredible. Engaging in elongation and an accelerando at the same, and speeding it up at the same time, so that it balanced out really well. That was very clever. That was very clever. And there you have it. That was Ill Sharp Minor by Rukkus / Nightkiller / whatever other names he's had, featured in Geometry Dash is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server. The Discord server is where everything gets announced first, whether it is the streams going live, the videos going up in the channels, updates, projects, whatever it is, it all gets announced first. Of course, that's where we have the community as well, where we hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people's servers, claiming as our own, and of course, where I host the Vintage Story server. It's kind of like Minecraft, but where I wanted Minecraft to go. So linked in the description. Go join the community. Become part of the community today. Also share these videos with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share these videos with everybody that you know. Also use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that. Linked in the description. Go share. Go join now. Another reason to join. Musicians, artists on YouTube or elsewhere. Rukkus or otherwise. This is an open invitation. Let's work together. If you want any of my musical skills for any of your projects, whether it is my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, the good old ooh, 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 ooh kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, if you want help figuring out something for your composition, whatever it is, for whatever project or collaboration, reach out, let me know, let's make stuff, let's work together, let's do stuff, right? And if you're in the audience and you know somebody that could benefit, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone. Please do not spam anyone. Be cool about things. Don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. That's up to 1 week in advance, so become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting in the 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. If you are on the live stream, you can go ahead and start requesting. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in for whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central Europe. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. Another reason to join the Discord. So if you live in Seymour and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch, both linked in the description, and it's going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. Recorded live during the gaming main channel's after show, and then the recordings go here, linked in the description, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Basterd. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you have it. Il Sharp Minor Rukkus. What an experience that was. Really good stuff, dude. Really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.